Numero 15, Pierre. Numero 16, Questo. Numero 19, Campionato. Numero 37, Niccolò. Numero 51, Samuel. A disposizione il numero 1 Perin, 23 Pinzogno, maglia numero 6 Danilo, numero 10 Ildiz, 11.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Stadium. The atmosphere is electric ahead of Juventus-Fiorentina, one of the biggest rivalries in Italian football. Joining me tonight for this spectacle is former defender Manuel Pascali. Good evening, Manuel.
Good evening, Thomas, and a very good evening, everyone. Another wonderful night of football in Serie A, and this is a fantastic clash in between Juve and Fiorentina. This is always a special match, and even if at the moment it's even hard to pick a favorite after the first part of the campaign, which Fiorentina has to be considered one of the most positive surprise under Palladino.
Absolutely, especially after those 8 wins on the trot, although they have had a dip in form in the past 2 rounds of Serie A matches, losing to Bologna and Udinese. Can they avoid a 3rd successive loss and win in the backyard of the Bianconeri? Juventus winning the last time out at Monza and halting a 4-game winless run, 4 draws on the spin. As the Juventus supporters warm up their voices, singing one of the many club anthems as we now go into the tunnel, the pre-match tension. Your referee for tonight, Maurizio Mariani. Fiorentina already out, lined up. As the Juventus players slowly emerge in the locker room. There Conceição, every competition this season for Juventus, but just one in Serie A, coming at the end of September. Italy skippering the side, Danilo on the bench. Yildiz coming through. And I'm just waiting for the all clear to lead out Juventus and Fiorentina onto the hallowed stadium turf. This eagerly awaited match. They will have lost between Juventus and Fiorentina. Plenty of moments down through the years that have sparked and intensified this rivalry between 2 storied Italian clubs. And we're all set for the latest chapter at the Allianz Stadium. A sight to behold. Sunday night showdown under the floodlights here. Rafael Palladino, a former Juventus player himself. And they also, just to left you a picture, Peluso, also a former Bianconeri man. 2 players taking on their past tonight, including Moise Kean and Dusan Vlahovic, and Juventus respectively. Andiamo, andiamo, let's go, let's go. That's the rallying cry from the tunnel. Just a few final words with the players. Soon he'll be out the bianconeri and the viola. Siamo, let's go. Juventus-Fiorentina. It's not a derby, but it is one of the biggest rivalries in Italian football. From the bianconeri beating Fiorentina to the Scudetto and the UEFA Cup in 1982 and 1990. Not to mention Juventus poaching some of the Tuscans' best players down through the years. There's certainly no love lost between these two clubs. At the Allianz Stadium, it is Juventus against Fiorentina. Palladino and Thiago Motta, former teammates at Genoa in the 2008-2009 season under Giampiero Gasperini. Palladino also a former Juventus player, 2 years in the bianconeri, including one and only season in the second tier for the bianconeri after the Calciopoli scandal. Conceição and Dusan Vlahovic come through for the final pre-match handshakes. For Vlahovic, all eyes on him tonight as he leads the line for the bianconeri. He's yet to score against his former employers Fiorentina since moving from Florence to Turin. Will tonight be the night? Elsewhere, there are 2 changes to the side that won in Monza. Thuram and Mbangula come in, and Nico Gonzalez-Anil has dropped to the bench. The Argentine isn't 100% fit, while for the latter, it is purely a technical decision from Thiago Motta. The Viola starting 11, aiming and hoping they can become the first Fiorentina team since 2020 to win here in the backyard of the bianconeri. Italian Luca Ranieri exchanging pennants. Ranieri skippering the side with Biraghi now frozen out of the Fiorentina squad and expected to move on in January. Italy stepping up with Danilo on the bench, Bremer out for the rest of the season. Your match official for tonight and referee Maurizio Mariani, assisted by Alessio Berti, Andrea Zingarelli and Emmanuel Feliciani, 4th official at the IBC in Lissone. It is Marco Di Bello, Marco Guida, VAR and assistant VAR respectively. Now here's how Fiorentina will line up this evening, with Donol returning from suspension at right back, while at left back, Parisi is preferred to Gosens. The only other change from the lost Udinese is at the other end of the pitch, with Gudmundsson coming in for Beltran. Moise Kean takes on the club that nurtured his talent, and he won 3 Scudetti across 2 spells. Can he come back to haunt his former club? Thiago Motta only focused on Fiorentina. That was the message in his pre-match press conference yesterday, refusing to look ahead to the Supercoppa Italiana, which is on the horizon, refusing to talk about the transfer front, only focused on beating Fiorentina tonight and making back-to-back wins in Serie A after winning at Monza last weekend. So both teams lined up, ready and raring to go. Juventus will get us underway, playing from right to left. As for Palladino, said his team have to be special tonight if they are to win. And talking of special, this is a special fixture. Joining me tonight is Manuel Pascali. What do Fiorentina have to do if they are to finally halt this Turin hex and win here tonight?
Good evening, Thomas. They have to perform like they did the first part of the campaign in Serie A. There being a bit of fresh air under Palladino. Now they got all they need to hurt Juventus, with Moise Kean back at the stadium, with Gudmundsson, Sotil and Colpani. Plenty of goals in the Palladino side.
As for Juventus, goals have been hard to come by this season. They're just the 5th best attack in Serie A. Bangula commits an early foul on Dodot on this near side. Missing out against Udinese and Bangula. Meanwhile, big call tonight from Thiago Motta, dropping Kenan Yildiz to the bench in favour of the Belgian.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest surprise in the starting 11 for Thiago Motta. On the other side, Palladino picked Parisi ahead of Gosens in the left-back position. Probably Palladino is a bit scared about Conceição pace, so he wanted more quite similar player to play 1-against-1 against the Portuguese.
Back with David De Gea. Really under pressure here, Juventus pressing high up as Camuzzo sweeps upfield. Gatti with interception, the match winner in this fixture last season. 1-0, in fact Juve winning the past 3 against Fiorentina, all with a 1-0 scoreline. At home they have such an impressive record against Fiorentina, winning 12 of the past 13, and beaten in 30 of the previous 32 at home. Just gives you an indication of the task at hand for Palladino and his players tonight.
McKennie Thomas is playing again into his unusual left-back position. He's a player, very versatile one, can play anywhere inside the park.
He scored last week at Monza, the opening goal, playing as a makeshift left-back. Cambias was on the bench tonight, but still not 100% fit, struggling with an ankle issue. You know, Cabal is out all season alongside Bremer with a similar knee injury. As Thuram drives forward. Still Thuram, may go all the way Thuram. Buccaneering run. Just running into a Viola brick wall.
Yes, his physical qualities in the middle of the park can make the difference tonight, especially when you're playing against a midfielder duo that are very technical like Adli and Cataldi, but maybe lack of bit of physicality.
Teams who have been watertight this season. Thiago Motta's men, just 13 goals leaked, exactly like his opposite number, Raffaele Palladino's men. Only Napoli have conceded fewer goals this season in Serie A. Bangula tries to settle into this match, prove Thiago Motta right. McKennie. Locatelli switching the play. Conceição just to go beyond Parisi. Still Conceição. Failed to deal with that, the Fiorentina defence. And Mango not for the first time, a little bit overzealous, but first flashes of Conceição, what he can do.
Yeah, we all know him now. When he receives the ball in the last third of the park, he can create trouble to any single defender around Europe because he's so quick, he's so sharp. Even Parisi, this is a small left back, will find difficulties to face Conceição.
And under real pressure from Conceição here. Zanieri can ease the pressure on the Fiorentina defence, try and bring Moise Kean into play, get his first touch against his former employers. Boy from Vercelli, now was drive from Turin, Juventus Academy graduate. Now Conceição going to take on this Fiorentina defence. Still Conceição whipped in towards Vlahovic. He wants a goal tonight against his former employers, Dusan Vlahovic. Again Conceição asking questions.
Yeah, look how many Juventus bodies are inside the box. Even Gatti is always there looking to find the room inside the box. Late run, but Vlahovic took the right position, jumped over Camuzzo. This is the first chance for the Bianconeri.
Which is faced Fiorentina on 4 previous occasions in Serie A, never scored. So 2 meetings in the Coppa Italia, but again yet to punish the Viola. Big money move in January 2022. 70 million euros. So Mariani just holds the play here. Manuel.
I don't know if something wrong in between the players. That's why the fourth official is talking with the Paladino. It's hard to understand what was going on.
Both coaches watching on, and now the referee having words. Both sets of players will try and get a grasp of the situation as quick as possible.
I think the referee was talking with the two skippers and they're gonna announce something at the stadium. Something went wrong inside the park, maybe some, we don't know. We know Vlahovic played for Fiorentina, and this big move from La Viola to the Bianconeri.
Mariani coming across Manuel.
Yeah.
Let's have words with both of the coaches, try and listen in and see if we can glean something. Message from Mane trying to get things underway again. Proviamo a giocare.
There probably some chance against Vlahovic, presumably racial abuse. Probably this is what the referee told to the speaker.
Well, there is zero tolerance when it comes to racism, xenophobia. And we're back underway. Down by Dodon. And then away. Taken quickly by McKennie. Gatti. Now Savona with Gatti. Everybody back for Fiorentina. Juventus have started the brighter of the two teams, but there's still a long way to go tonight. As Thiago Motta said, Fiorentina dangerous on the counter-attack. Cope Miners blocked by Camuzzo.
Yeah, I think that's a Paladino plan. Try to stay deep, defend deep, and then counter Juventus whenever they're gonna win the ball back. Now good run from Cope Miners. Camuzzo had to shuffle across, and now first chance for Juve from a corner kick. They are so dangerous. There are a lot of physicality in the middle of the box.
Cope Miners with the corner. Fiorentina deal with it. We saw Juventus deadly from the dead ball situation against Monza last week. Locatelli towards Cope Miners. And overhit on that occasion. Thumbs up from Cope Miners, who was injury doubt all week. He hobbled off at half-time against Monza. Struggled for fitness this week, didn't train with the full squad on every single occasion this week, but he has recovered in time, Cope Miners, and he's part of this big fixture tonight. And a foul from McKennie.
I think Thomas set pieces can make the difference again, because Fiorentina is a very good side, play lovely football, but physically they are not the strongest, and especially against a team of the likes with Thuram, Vlahovic, Gatti, Kalulu, Savona, McKennie very good in the air. They can suffer a bit in the dead ball situations.
Just confirmation, Manuel, and for our viewers at home, the game was temporarily halted because of racial chants and discrimination from the stands, but we're back underway, and hopefully that's the last of that tonight. Camuzzo upfield, Kalulu, Mbangula. Vlahovic for Locatelli, helps it along to Conceição. Conceição, Locatelli. Cope Miners and French have done well there. They've pushed Juventus back, but they'll start again. Cope Miners. McKennie. Bangula. And out right in front of Thiago Motta. Quick thinking from Cope Miners. McKennie from Bangula. Does he win the foul? The referee says Dodot played the ball. I'm starting to come to life here. Camuzzo, the 19-year-old defender, driving through the middle. Camuzzo for Gudmundsson, and that touch was too heavy. And Juventus have dealt with it, and now Juventus can break, but Locatelli sees his initial pass intercepted. And then Bangula failing to pick out Vlahovic. Scrappy from both sides. McKennie will just try and usher this out. In the end, he has to go to Kalulu, and Juventus will start again, Manuel.
Yeah, fantastic end-to-end stuff. Fiorentina had the chance to break Juventus. Gudmundsson, well found by Camuzzo, who had a decent start of the game. Didn't have a wonderful touch. I don't know if Gudmundsson tried to play Kean into his feet, and then immediately Juventus tried to hurt Fiorentina, but Locatelli pass towards Vlahovic was intercepted.
These teams locked on 31 points ahead of kick-off. Looking to get the edge over each other in the race for Champions League football. Although Juventus great Alessandro Del Piero said that Juventus are still in the hunt for the Scudetto, despite them being off the pace behind Atalanta, Napoli and Inter. There's a Kean tracking back. Interesting what reception he gets tonight from his former fans. Kean for Parisi. Adli. Compani. Back with Adli. Might put himself into a crossing position here. Last touch off Thuram.
Yeah, Adli is a very composed player, very tidy. He loves to put in a decent ball because he's got the technical abilities. And he's going to take this corner. Or Colpani is going to take it, an in-swinger from the right. Camuzzo, Ranieri will be the target alongside Moise Kean.
There goes Andrea Colpani. Gregorio punching it away. But, keep a clean sheet tonight for Juventus. It'll be a first since the Derby della Mole against Torino. The start of November. Camuzzo, really good season, ever present. Dodot towards Colpani. The idea was there. Colpani tried to free himself. Sal caught in possession, but the referee coming to his rescue then, awarding the foul.
Yeah, that's what Parisi has to do against Conceição, being aggressive. Don't leave Conceição the chance to go at you. I think Dodot, their passes is Di Gregorio dive from the corner in the swing. Not many big boys for Fiorentina inside the box. I think in that good position, in that occasion, Dodot played too early the ball into Colpani.
Kalulu, who, if press reports are to be believed, could be joined by Tomori in January. Several names linked to the club as Juventus look to strengthen in defence. A reminder, no Bremer, no Cabal out for the entirety of the season. Danilo's been strongly linked with a move away. Napoli could be his next destination. So watch this space. Now Kalulu. To start again through Gattin. Savona, one of the revelations for Juventus this term. Aston with the next gen. Savona goes looking for Conceição. Almost overthrown on that far side.
Yeah, that's not the kind of service Conceição loves to receive. But when Juventus have been up from the back, watch McKennie position. They build up with the three. They can be Gatti, Locatelli and Kalulu this term. And look, McKennie is just going up, leaving Mbangula free to receive the ball in the wide area.
Kalulu. Thuram. Kurt Miners. Kenny. Helps along to Mbangula. Thought about the cross. Now Locatelli. Conceição screaming for it. Parisi fails to deal with it. Fortunately for him, Sotil was there. And now McKennie. This time it does make its way to Conceição. Drop of the shoulder from Conceição. Just trying to barge his way through. Fiorentina doubling up there. Sotil and Parisi.
Yeah, brilliant job by Sotil. He has to help Parisi when Conceição receives the ball after another big switch of play from Thuram. You don't want to leave Conceição one against Parisi.
Thuram towards Locatelli, goes sliding in. Cataldi stands his ground. Colpani will chase. McKennie appears to have it covered. Great work from McKennie, showing his versatility in this side again tonight, Manuel.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful energy, brilliant stamina. Colpani is a technical player, loves to receive the ball into his feet rather than run into the channel.
Seeing all the ball. Trademark under Tagomotta. Mbangula looks to go beyond Dodon. Mbangula's ball in, down by Vlahovic. Taldi away. Now Sotil, nice turn of pace from him. There's Colpani to his right. Colpani, chance to finally take on this Juventus defence. Colpani shaping up to shoot, blocked by McKennie. Mbangula there to tidy up the pieces. And he's sliding in. Nicely done by Juventus on this near side. So all the ball, as we said, but arguably the best performance was against Manchester City this season when they didn't see much of the ball, Manuel.
Yeah, of course. Sotil is the player that in transition can cause Juventus problems with his pace. Exactly what happened there. Ken won the ball back. Sotil driving towards the defense. He found Colpani wide. Not many players close to the Fiorentina winger who opted for the shot from distance.
4 goals on counter-attack this season from Fiorentina. Not warning his players ahead of the match to keep a close eye on the Viola in transition. A few signs of Fiorentina trying to strike on the break. Locatelli for Thuram, who's found a pocket of space. Thuram to get the opener! It's his first for the club, and it's coming one of the biggest fixtures for Juventus against their eternal rivals Fiorentina. And almost 2 decades on, there's another Thuram on the score sheet for Juventus. First goal for the club, and it was a beauty. Lovely give and go with Manuel Locatelli slicing through the Viola defence. And a finish that his older brother Marcus Thuram would be proud of as well. Juventus 1, Fiorentina 0.
Yeah, wonderful goal, Thomas. We said it about Thuram physicality. The biggest mistake has been made by Comuzzo first. He goes and breaks the 4 defenders line. This leaves a big, huge gap in between the other centre-back Ranieri and Dodo. And that's exactly where Thuram is driving. Ranieri is too late. And this is a fantastic ball by an outstanding player.
And his older brother Marcus Thuram piling on the praise. From Thuram earlier this week in a lengthy interview with the Gazzetta dello Sport, saying that his younger brother has the potential to be even better than himself, can learn from his father, who scored just the one goal for Juventus in 2002 against Milan. 22 years on, his youngest son puts his name on the score sheet for the Bianconeri. Juventus have the advantage in this, as we were saying, such a special fixture. No love lost down through the years. Juventus have poached some of the Tuscans' best players. Baggio, the most high-profile case. McKennie now looking for Mbangula. This is Mbangula towards Vlahovic and away by Luca Ranieri.
Yeah, good spell for Juventus, but we're gonna appreciate it again. The injection of pace to Thuram, played the ball into Locatelli. Comuzzo break the back four line and went very aggressive on Juventus skipper, who played a one-touch ball back to Thuram, who's got a highway to run in. Too late Ranieri, too wide Dodo, and then it looked like an easy finish from the edge of the box to surprise De Gea into the near post.
His form is keeping Fagioli on the bench. Lovely touch that from Goodmanson towards Moise Kean. Recent weeks has been Locatelli and Thuram in midfield. Now Sotil, Parisi. Can Fiorentina find an instant reaction? Will that goal spark them into life? Throwing on that far side, Parisi. Take, looking for options.
Yes, because we didn't see much about Goodmanson in the first 23 minutes. Colpani, Moise Kean, it's all about Juventus.
This is Cataldi towards Moise Kean on the turn. Still with Kean. Trickles wide. He was appealing, looks at the referee, said his shirt was being tugged there, Moise Kean.
Yeah, surely this is a fall at the edge of the box. Yes, Moise Kean is going to find a shot from there, but you can see clearly Gatti pulling the number 20 shirt.
Teammates up until last season, Gatti and Moise Kean having a stellar season for Fiorentina, 10 league goals. First ever time in Serie A that he's hit double figures. The previous time during his spell in France in Ligue 1 with PSG. He hit 13 in the 2021 season. Now David De Gea. Colpani. No space to run into. And McKennie's recovered well. Colpani. Cataldi, Adli, Sotil checks inside. He loves to, that's one of his hallmarks, checking inside and putting it to his favoured boot and striking. Now Dodon towards the byline. Nicely done by Dodon with the pullback. Kalulu puts his body on the line.
Yeah, too easy for Dodo to go past McKennie, but Juventus doesn't have to do again the same mistake. Once they score the first goal, they think about defend deep. That can cause you troubles, because anything can happen, especially against a team that if you leave Fiorentina play can make things happen, because they got quality to going forward. Juventus needs to find the second one.
This is Goodmanson. Sotil, Savona fails to deal with it. Now Parisi just lost his footing. Conceição. Just this season, the only unbeaten team in Serie A, but they've picked up 10 draws, just 7 wins from opening 17 match days. And they find that killer instinct tonight and get a much-needed win. Close out 2024 by claiming maximum points. Last time they lost their final match of the calendar, it was actually to Fiorentina, December 2020. Vlahovic was still playing for the Tuscans, as was Martin Cáceres, those two both on the score sheet. Former Juventus man Cáceres. Miners down the line.
Yes, because Thomas, we've seen even against Venezia.
Moise Kean brings Gudmundsson into play. Now Sotil. Still with Sotil. As he fouled there by Thuram, the referee looks to give the advantage, and now Adli. Now the referee goes back to the initial foul there.
Yeah, good job by the referee. Obviously you're gonna take the advantage, but a free kick at the edge of the box you cannot have something, a better advantage of that. Here Sotil causing troubles, but that's why if Juventus are defending deep, Fiorentina got players, if they receive the ball in the last third, that can create troubles. Sotil one side, Colpani, Dodò, Gudmundsson. That's a mistake that Juventus can't afford to make.
Since Thuram's goal, they've been sitting back, it's been all Fiorentina. Motta has to be careful, he's already been sent to stands once this season, against his former employers Bologna. Sotil and Colpani both interested here. Sotil, who scored in every competition this season for Fiorentina, barring Serie A.
Yeah, even Cataldi could have been an option, Thomas, because he's got this fundamental on in his locker. He's talking with Adelino, happy with something.
Cataldi enjoying his most prolific season. Total concentration from Riccardo Sotil. This is Riccardo Sotil straight into the wall, and then Adli with the follow-up.
Yeah, Sotil is asking for non-ball. On the rebounds, Adli. Not sure if Bisi is to be considered. Too many bodies, one close to the other in the wall, and here Adli tried to keep the ball low. But the ball went always rising.
Gregorio. Towards Vlahovic, who gets the flick on. Company tracking back, that's awkward though for Dodò. And Vlahovic. Nearly making life difficult for David De Gea. Had it covered though, the Spanish keeper. He was without a club all last season, but since joining Fiorentina, becoming #1, hosting Terracciano. So on the guilty party there.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit to contain Sotil Verve. Juventus from the back is attracting all the Fiorentina pressure, and then Di Gregorio goes long because Fiorentina leaves a situation of 3 against 3. Ranieri, Comuzzo and Parisi against just 3 Juventus players, and that's a flick is enough. The target is always Vlahovic.
Adli overhit for Dodò. It's just gifting possession back to the Bianconeri.
Yeah, as soon as the ball rebounds on this surface, it's going out of the field. But that's interesting to see Colpani making those kind of runs to free room for Dodò.
Cup miners. Parisi first to that loose ball there. Dodò. Colpani's managed to find a pocket of space. It's near side. Safety first, they're back with Dodò. Continue just look to pass it around. Patiently find an opening here. Easier said than done. Gudmundsson. Last season against Juventus for Genoa. That is one of 2 goals he scored against the Bianconeri. His first one in Serie A coming against the Turin Giants. Was it Kean? Colpani floated towards Dodò. Wasn't executed to perfection though.
Yeah, because that was a decent, interesting move from Fiorentina. Dodò disappearing inside the park and then immediately attack behind the Juventus defender showed us, and from the quality of Colpani, you'd guess a decent pass.
Given away by Kalulu. Now Gudmundsson. Still Gudmundsson. Had Sutil free to his left. Still though, possession with the visitors. Adli. Colpani. Has momentum gone for Palladino's men. Can they open up and carve up this Bianconeri rear guard with Gudmundsson? He's already missed 9 games this season in Serie A because of injuries. Hasn't helped him settle following his move from Genoa. Adli.
By the way, wonderful block by Locatelli.
Lodot. Locatelli, another one, which an unsung hero this season for Juventus, plugging away in the middle of the park. The platform for the players further up the pitch to shine. Adli, forced back. Cataldi, Colpani, Gudmundsson, neat football, Lodot. Just disappointing finish there. Ken was free.
Yeah, the end product. I know that Dodot meant to serve Moise Kean there. Di Gregorio read everything well, but there was even in the back post area Sotil sneaking, better from Fiorentina.
Sotil, Gudmundsson, Fiorentina working their way back into this match. Cataldi towards Moise Kean. Go straight out. Cataldi no longer alongside his fellow Roman in the Fiorentina midfield, Eduardo Bove, who has recovered though, and is recovering. And he's in the ground tonight as we see Thuram's goal. The difference between the two teams.
Yeah, but you can see Comuzzo went into Locatelli, who played this ball back, one touch towards Thuram, and then Dodo or Ranieri had to read the danger and go closer to Thuram. Too easy for him at the edge of the box to find the bottom corner.
Juventus go appealing and they get the decision go their way. Nice team move from Juventus that led to that opening goal.
Thomas, Fiorentina found a couple of times themselves into decent position. The end product at the moment is missing.
Just in the final third, lacking that quality. Morale has taken a bit of a hit after those back-to-back losses to Bologna and Udinese, halting the 8-game winning streak. We just mentioned Bove a few moments ago. How big a loss has that been for Palladino?
Yeah, with Adli, you gain more composure on the ball, but you lose energy, stamina. That's, I think, Bove and Cataldi in the middle of the party were completing each other in a brilliant way, and it was working so well for Fiorentina.
He's inside the ground tonight, supporting his Fiorentina teammates.
Especially if you consider a game like this, Thomas, no, Bove energy could have matched Thuram in the goal situation. Cataldi's got a completely different pace, and Adli so.
Gatti carrying it forward. Sissao. Savona away from Sotil. Sissao. Nice turn of pace. Got it away, but only two. Locatelli, Gudmundsson tracking back. Coat miners, Thuram. Still with Thuram. And now towards Mbangulan Dodon, heading it away.
Yeah, but Thuram is bossing the midfield with his energy, with his physical presence. He's dominating that area for Juventus.
Positive season on loan from Milan, just didn't quite work out for him with the Rossoneri. to take it quickly. Tightly, little international so far. Not seen too much of him. Now Parisi.
Yeah, Thomas, when Fiorentina build up from the back, you can see Adli going into a kind of left back position, leaving Parisi as a proper left winger, with Sotil coming inside.
It's awkward for Di Gregorio. It's come to Goodmanson. Sotil. Battle between the two speed demons, Sotil and Conceição. Conceição's come away with it. Conceição, nice feet. And Bangula, the referee, giving the advantage. Cope Miners has Vlahovic in the middle. Towards Vlahovic. Now McKennie keeps it alive. Nadley just puts it out behind.
Yeah, at the end, Comuzzo did so well. But when Conceição receives the ball, anything can happen. It can go past 3 or 4 players. He won the challenge, the referee did well, played on. Then Comuzzo did well at the end in his box. Fiorentina has to stay in the game. You don't have to concede the second now. And look, Juventus, how many big boys in the box.
Plenty's aim for Cope Miners. Towards Gatti, made by Ranieri. End-to-end stuff. Locatelli. Cope Miners will chase, gets his head to it. Fiorentina now can regroup. Whether it was a real difficult back pass from Locatelli for Di Gregorio. Now Adli for Sotil. Back with Adli. Floated in by Adli towards Moise Kean! The boy from Vercelli doesn't celebrate against the club that nurtured his talent, that handed him his Serie A bow, but he has brought his current employers, Fiorentina, level here. It is game on again. His 11th of the season. And it was just meant to be.
Thomas, is all about desire. Immediately when De Gea received the ball, he played into Adli. Yes, you might lose a bit of stamina, energy, but you gain technically. And this is an absolute dessert for Moise Kean. Look the ball, the in-swinger, Kalulu, out of position. You just need to guide it home. Look, this is a Beckham-esque deliver from Adli. Look, 1, 2, 3 Fiorentina players against Kalulu and McKennie, and Di Gregorio cannot save it.
And if it was a Beckham-esque delivery, it was a Dwight York header then, or Andy Cole or Ruud van Nistelrooy. The list is endless. Gratitude, though, the key message from Moise Kean towards his ex-supporters. The past is Juventus, the present is Fiorentina. He's putting the pressure on Retegui and Thuram in the race for the Capocannoniere crown. Team surplus to requirements by the Bianconeri. He has come back to hurt his one-time club. And his game on again. As you were saying, Manuel, Juventus this season, they go ahead, but just fail to then kick on.
Yeah, anything can happen. You don't have the quality to stay for 80 minutes after you found the opening goals to defend, like they were doing with the BBC, Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli, plus Buffon. You're gonna concede, especially when you're playing against quality opponents. I can see it maybe happening the last 5-10 minutes, Thomas, when you're gonna defend the score, but you cannot defend your own box for 80 minutes.
Cope Miners towards Vlahovic. Vlahovic! What a stop by David De Gea. And he keeps it at 1-1.
Incredible. Thomas, this is outstanding goalkeeping. If you think that he didn't play for the whole 1 year, That's incredible. Look here. Wonderful shot by Vlahovic and De Gea with his right wrist probably. That's an outstanding goalkeeping.
Even Vlahovic has applauded the save, and that sums it up. David De Gea rolling back the years, and look at the reaction of Vlahovic. Cannot believe it, and we can't believe it either.
They're outstanding. And hopefully for Fiorentina, the former Man United keeper is going to be fine after this outrageous save. Fiorentina went to sleep a bit because Comuzzo was on alert. Vlahovic read the situation, decent ball over the top. But this is a smashing, superb save by De Gea.
He's hurt himself in the process. Indication of the power of the strike here, Manuel, by Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah, lovely ball from Comines. Comuzzo there had to read the flight of the ball and maybe adjusting that he was late. And here the goal. Look the amount of players. Look, Gatti is too far away from Kalulu. Kalulu is left in between two players. Wonderful ball in. Di Gregorio cannot come off his line. Kalulu has to be goal side. Their mechanic could have helped his teammate, but I think Gatti position wasn't the best.
Those Fiorentina supporters believe. Around 1,000 Fiorentina fans have reportedly made the trip to Turin. Now Cope Miners with the delivery. There's the header from Gatti, who wanted to bring Juventus back ahead before the break.
Always a target, Gatti inside the box. Look here against Comuzzo, who at the end did well, but this can be a mismatch in terms of physicality because Gatti is older, is more experienced, and Juventus will try to exploit that.
Locatelli wins it back. Now Mbangula. Fiorentina struggling to clear their lines. Cope Miners has won it back. McKennie. Locatelli. Vlahovic for Conceição. Conceição forced back. He needs options, he needs support. Arrives in the form of Gatti. Juventus retake the lead. Go towards the end of the first half. Mbangula for Thuram. Gatti.
Thomas, that's exactly what we were talking about. Juventus, as soon as they concede, now again going forward with will and desire to score the second one.
Kalulu's header finds Locatelli. Conceição. No way past Parisi on that occasion. Now Parisi can spring forward. Has Sotil to his left. Ken through the middle, who's buoyed after the equalizer.
Yeah, brilliant by Thuram, because Gatti is going forward as soon as he sees Conceição receiving the ball, and Thuram covered the big centre half in brilliant style.
Kalulu. McKennie. Back with McKennie. Locatelli. Cope Miners. Tried that depth little touch, might come back to Cope Miners. Also struggling to clear it. Locatelli brings it down. Locatelli from distance! And just before the break, Locatelli very nearly finding the back of the net. Hasn't scored in more than a year. It would have been some way to end his drought.
Thomas, that could have been easily goal of the season. Look the ball with the outside of his right foot going wide 4 centimeters. Even De Gea couldn't save that. Here Ranieri, I think, is winning a couple of seconds, saying to his goalie, wait, the first half is over. But that was a tremendous effort.
His last goal coming against Milan last term. He got the game at San Siro. Dodon. With Colpani. Fiorentina did win here back in 2015 in the Coppa Italia. Mohamed Salah running rings around Juventus that day, but it was the first leg of the semi-finals of the Italian Cup, and Juventus won at the Franchi and marched on to the finals. So it's a bittersweet memory for Fiorentina. Their best memories against Juventus have come at the Franchi. The Rossi hat-trick springs to mind in the 13-14 season. Battistuta bringing down the Bianconeri as well in the 90s. The latest chapter so far has been electrifying. Some end-to-end stuff. Just sense there's plenty more to come. Who knows, maybe even just before the break. Goodmanson tries to put a bit of pressure on Gatti, Savona.
Yeah, now Fiorentina trying to press really, really high Juventus. We see if they're gonna go long, direct towards Vlahovic.
Attack towards their supporters in the second period. The Curva Fiesole haven't travelled, where the die-hard supporters sit. They're protesting against the pricing system adopted by Juventus, but they did see off the team at the train station yesterday. Just reminding the Fiorentina players what this fixture means. Hundreds of fans were there to see off the Viola as they made the trip from Florence to Turin. Now Locatelli, Cope Miners towards Vlahovic, Cataldi sliding in. Now Ken. Fiorentina launch one last attack just before the break. Ken flexing his muscle there.
Yeah, he's on the mood. As you can see, when he's receiving the ball in that position, reminds so much about Lukaku, no? So hard to defend against, so hard to steal the ball of him.
Locatelli towards Cope Miners. Vlahovic just sliced his effort, and that could well be it for the first half. It is it for the first half. One apiece here in Turin. Thoroughly entertaining first half. Dusan Vlahovic so close to getting his first ever goal against his former employers. Denied by a superb stop by David De Gea. Thuram bringing Juventus ahead, but Moise Kean on his return to his old club. The club handed him his Serie A bound, where he became the second youngest ever scorer for the club in Serie A, getting the equalizer. At the break, it is Juventus 1, Fiorentina 1.
Poi lui è bello a cazzo, c'è una gamba che è doppio la mia, se io posso fare chiudevo un po', però no, bisogna parte il gol, ma non Mario, ma possiamo uscire?
Hello again and welcome back to the Allianz Stadium, where it's currently 1-1 between Juventus and Fiorentina. Thuram getting the opener. The Frenchman's joy wiped out, cancelled out by Moise Kean on his return to the Allianz Stadium. The club that handed him his big break and his big opportunity. He's delicately poised ahead of the restart here. No changes at the break. Fiorentina to get things going again. Vlahovic and was getting deep in discussion, and reportedly it was Vlahovic who advised Moise Kean to join Fiorentina, speaking very highly of Florence and his time there between 2018 and 2022. Checks here from Mariani before he gets back underway. And we're up and running again. Manuel, a stunning second half is in store. 1-1, anyone's for the taking this game.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, Juventus will try to restart from where they left, from where they started the first half. They were brilliant the first 25 minutes till they found the opening goal. Then they sat back a bit too deep. They gave the chance to Fiorentina to score the equalizer. And at the moment, you don't have to give the number 20 a chance, because he's gonna score, especially here against his former club.
At the moment, Juventus on course. An 11th draw of the season. Nico Gonzalez warming up, hoping to come on and cause some problems against his former employees, joining over the summer from Fiorentina. 38 goals between 2021 and 2024. Motta, should it end in a draw, would become just the second ever Juventus coach to remain unbeaten in his opening 18 league match days. Conte, only previous one who won his first 48 Serie A matches in charge of Juventus without tasting defeat. We've got a glimpse of him to go. Rando Mandragora, another former Juventus man, although just one appearance for the Bianconeri. We saw in the first half Fiorentina that time just lacking a bit of quality in the final third as well. That will also be something Palladino would have stressed at the break.
Yeah, especially in the first 25-30 minutes, where Juventus were the better team, but Fiorentina had the chance to trouble the Bianconeri, but somehow they didn't find the quality they need. In the opening goal, they found with Adli, wonderful ball in, and Moise Kean was left completely unmarked from Kalulu.
His aerial prowess as a Kean. Best ever season in the Italian top flight. Just one more to go level with Retegui and Thuram. Now Manuel Locatelli, space opening up. Locatelli looking for Vlahovic. It's picked out there by Comuzzo. Given away. McKennie. Gatti. Now they'll just start again. Juventus pass it around, look for an opening. Cope Miners. Towards Thuram for his second! What a start to the second period! Thuram hadn't scored a single goal before tonight, and now he's got a brace in Juventus colours, and he's turning out to be the man of the moment, the man of the match. Kevin Thuram, 2-1 Juventus, just 3 minutes since the restart.
Yeah, wonderful start of the second half for the Bianconeri, and again, this man checking the room, the space to attack as soon as Cope Miners receives the ball. Cataldi is too late, Dodo is too late again. Cataldi tried everything to provide this ball to reach Thuram, who in front of the goalkeeper does a miss from 6 yards. Astonishing brace from this man, the number 19, put Juventus ahead at the start of the second half.
Sweet, sweet music from Thuram, all smiles from Yildiz as well. watching on there. Will we see Kenan Yildiz at some point this evening? You'd expect so. Similarly, Nico Gonzalez, some real quality to potentially come off the bench. Drama's chosen one of the most historic fixtures then to open his account for the Bianconeri. As Ken looks to inspire Fiorentina back into the match. Adli for Ken. Adli first that loose ball. Dodo. Nicely done by Mbangula. Cataldi and Colpani. The rest of the Fiorentina midfield looking to now push up. Keep Juventus pinned back. Now this will be interesting, man, whether Juventus will now really go on and look for that third, or will they sit back as they did after the opener?
Yeah, they don't have, because you don't want to stay deep and defend for the next 40 minutes, because as we said so many times, anything can happen. And Fiorentina got the quality if you leave them the possession of the ball. We're gonna see again later on the goal, the second Thuram goal. As you can see, the gap in between Dodo and Comuzzo here is too big, and you see Kefran Thuram read the room to attack. If Dodo is closer to Comuzzo, probably Thuram is not gonna attack that space. Wonderful finish from front of goal, especially because the goalkeeper is De Gea, who in the first half made an astonishing save against Vlahovic.
His first goal's coming against David De Gea, making it even more special for Thuram, one of the game's best keepers in the past decade or so. Although he has been out of action, or was out of action of last season, showing he's making up for lost time at the Franchi for Fiorentina. Fiorentina have a proud tradition when it comes to keepers down through the years. Toldo perhaps springs to mind right away. Frey as well. They've rarely got a goalkeeper wrong, the Tuscan outfit. And here he is, David De Gea, sweeping it back upfield towards Moise Kean. Shooting the ball nicely. And he winning the foul once again, as you said in the first half, very reminiscent of a Lukaku shielding the ball.
Yeah, he's so good. It's good because he is immediately reading the fly of the ball, take the right position, then it's almost unstoppable to move once he spotted the right position.
His 11th of the season, becoming the first Italian player in Fiorentina's colours to score more than 10 goals in a single Serie A season. The last, Bernardeschi, another one to have played for both clubs, another one that Juventus took away from the Franchi. Chiesa in recent years also springs to mind. Nico Gonzalez, most recent one. Comes this out. The break is on. He's in. Goodmanson getting back. Conceição just trying to dribble his way through, and he'll settle for the foul. He's been a constant thorn tonight in the Fiorentina side.
Yeah, awkward challenging between aerial challenging between Mbangula and the Fiorentina player. And here Parisi again using the dirty hands, no, to provide, to try to win the ball back, to steal the ball from Conceição. I think lucky to escape a yellow card.
Still no yellow cards as we go into the 53rd minute. Kick for Juventus, floated in by Locatelli towards Gatti. Now McKennie. Good Thuram. Now get a hat-trick, that would be some story. Only double goals his father scored for the couple. His father did play as a defender, so there's a bit of a harsh comparison, but he did play far more games than his youngest son. 200 appearances for the Bianconeri, Scudetto winner, Champions League finalist. Nodded down. Adli first to it. Sotil for Ken. Referee says play on. Kurt Miners. And out on this near side.
I think this was a foul on Moise Kean. Pretty sure that Lilian Thuram scored the brace, but I'm not sure if he scored with the Parma jersey or with the France at a certain point.
So he wasn't renowned for his goal-scoring feats. Lilian Thuram more for keeping them out. Juventus great, Parma great, Serie A great, Calcio great, a footballing great. Proud to see his two sons lighting up and starring in Serie A. Moise Kean firing in the goals for Inter, and his other son starring tonight for Juventus. Cambias also waiting in the wings. He made a cameo appearance against Monza last week. As Giorgio Chiellini watches on, who, and you forget, actually started his career with Fiorentina, although it's with Juventus, of course, that he's best known, a Bianconeri great. Giorgio Chiellini from Tuscany, growing up in the football sense with Juventus. Now back at the club as a director, and to learn the ropes behind the scenes. And learn alongside the likes of Giuntoli, Scanavino, Ferrero. Savona. It's Conceição. Straight out in front of Thiago Motta there.
Thomas, I just checked now live, and Thuram scored in 1998 with France against Croatia, a double in 11 minutes. That's why we are football mad. Yeah, it was in with the France jersey. Yeah, but you say it right. It was not new for his goal-scoring talent.
The next generation of Thurams writing new chapters for the Thuram family. Thumbs up from Thiago Motta. Should he win today, it would be his 50th win in Serie A as coach. Former Spezia Genoa, of course, Bologna tactician. Able to rack up just his 8th Serie A win for Juventus. Extend his unbeaten start in the dugout in Serie A, of course. Matching Antonio Conte. Unbeaten. Starting the first 18 league matches. Some way to go to match the 48 unbeaten. Conte's first. 48 games in charge of the Bianconeri in Serie A. Gatti. McKennie will chase. Has he kept it in play? He has. McKennie. Thuram. Towards Conceição. The tallest man on the pitch. Still doing his best to get on the end of it. Lee just running into trouble. Locatelli's won it back. Another one's having a storming match. Conceição. Cope Miners. Was he fouled there by Ranieri? He's venting his frustrations there towards the assistant.
Yeah, good challenge by Ranieri, but I think the linesman got it right. It's a corner. Now Juve's got maybe the chance to kill the game. With an in-swinger probably. Cope Miners, yeah.
Sense of Juventus get the third, that could well be it. Swung in by Cope Miners, punched away by De Gea. Cataldi under pressure here from Mbangula. Easy, trying to skip away. Was he caught late now? Are we going to have the first yellow of the match here? We are. Card is out from Mariani. Can be no complaints really. Stopping a counter-attack and stopping the Viola from getting quickly up the field. So McKennie first to be shown a yellow and could well be coming off shortly. We saw Cambiaso warming up. Missed out against Venezia. Juventus' last home match in Serie A with an ankle issue.
Goodmanson is off, I think. Thomas, yeah, Beltran on.
Different players. Beltran more of a physical presence in the final third. Gudmundsson, we saw some flashes of brilliance from him in the first half, more a technical player. Beltran wearing that number 9 jersey, which obviously evokes memories of Batistuta when we talk about Fiorentina. Can he perform like Batistuta tonight and get Fiorentina back on level terms?
Yeah, Beltran, who doesn't score many goals, but when Gudmundsson was off the field for an injury, he did well, providing more than a couple of assists. Beltran in that position, I think that suits him most. Yeah, Kwame has been linked with Torino lately. Was looking for a replacement after Zapata injury.
Now Conceição goes round the outside. Conceição. Of course, the transfer rumour is in full spin right now and in overload, as you can imagine, with the transfer on the horizon. Juventus likewise linked with lots of players, and also players reportedly said to leave as well. So watch this space, but Motta, yes, they're refusing to be drawn into any talk over transfers, focused solely on Fiorentina, and stressing the message that he's in complete sync with the club directors, and Giuntoli in particular, the club sporting director, nicknamed Giuntoli Scissorhands by the Italian press, seeing all the cuts he's been making behind the scenes and lowering the wage bill.
Yeah, we don't know if Juventus will try to find an extra striker.
Comes to Ken now. Still with Ken! In the end, a disappointing finish by his very high standards.
Yes, Cataldi was coming with the full pace, the back post area, but I think Moise Kean, we have to check his position here, was able to find enough room to try to place it on the far post, too central. But we said that you don't have to give any chance to Moise Kean. We look to find the brace that Thuram found tonight.
Flicked on by Cataldi towards Beltran. Referee dashing across there. Colpani going down. Talking of transfers, Colpani, jury very much out following his move from Monza. Really starred for the Brianzoli the past 2 seasons, but so far struggled really to carry over that form. He followed Palladino from Monza to Florence over the summer, just 2 goals. And we've had a red card here. It's been shown to one of Palladino's backroom staff.
Yeah. And I think Mbangula is coming off. Plus McKennie, you said it, Thomas, cambiato a Nildis.
Kenny on a yellow card. Straight swap with Cambiaso, and Kenan Yildiz gets a great reception. The number 10, the heir, or has been touted by many as the heir to Alex Del Piero. Antonio Del Piero scored arguably one of his best ever goals for Juventus in this fixture. It was actually 30 years ago, man, or 1994. Juventus coming from behind, 2-0 down to win 3-2. Del Piero side, Del Piero, young Del Piero, still didn't actually have the number 10 jersey. It was occupied by Baggio. Another one that has played his part in the history of this fixture. Fiorentina fans taking to the streets to protest following his sale to the Turin Giants out of the 1990 World Cup. The famous refused to take a penalty against Fiorentina on his return to the Franchi. Now Locatelli. Cope Miners. Thuram. Vlahovic, can he get his goal against Fiorentina tonight? Vlahovic towards Conceição. Not easy. He's nodded it out for a corner.
Yeah, but did well at the end, because the ball played from Vlahovic was an interesting one. We're gonna see if Yildiz will have the same impact he had when he came on against Inter in a big match in San Siro when Juventus was losing 4-2, and he scored twice in San Siro.
Here he is, Kenan Yildiz. Swung in by Kenan Yildiz. By Komutso. Now Cambiaso jumping up, looking to get immediately involved. Now Kenan Yildiz with the pass back. Gatti. Backheel flick from him. Transforming himself into a forward there, Federico Gatti.
Yeah, he tried a spectacular one. But Juventus, you can see now, it's got a different approach. Obviously, they know they don't want to defend it the last second of the game with this score. Want to put the game into bed. And here Gatti tried a spectacular one.
Now it's Fiorentina responding. Cataldi off Mandragora, who did have a very brief spell with Juventus early in his career, just the one appearance. Part of a Scudetto winning team in 2016-17 under Massimiliano Allegri. Straight swap then. Cataldi off Mandragora on. Minutes plus added time left on the clock. So still time very much on Fiorentina's side. Anything can happen. They have the players, the experience, the quality to make life difficult for Juventus. Parisi stands his ground, wins a foul.
Yeah, receiving the ball inside the park with the Sotil out wide left. Mandragora will offer you more energy compared to Cataldi, and even goals chance.
Dodò. Mandragora now wearing the captain's armband. And actually made his Serie A debut against Juventus. In Genoa colours, nice touch by Sotil. That night he nullified Paul Pogba's peak of his powers then. Shocked Max Allegri's Juventus in the 14-15 season. Actually, it was Allegri's first ever loss in charge of Juventus. Hadley. Colpani so dangerous in this kind of position. Now Dodò. Can he keep it in play? Cambiaso recovering well. Nice sportsmanship as well between those two. But that first touch was too heavy. Yeah, but
Cambiaso, I think Dodò could have gone past any single player apart Cambiaso, because he's so quick, the Juventus fullback.
And it comes from Colpani. Gregorio gets his gloves to it. Dragora jumping up and heads it back goalwards, but wide of the mark.
Yeah, winning the aerial challenge against Conceição. Now Fiorentina will try everything with 25 minutes to go to try to find the equalizer. We're going to see a couple of more options from the bench for Palladino, Kwame, Ikone, even Gosens.
The Fiorentina do have a game in hand. One match fewer than Juventus after their game with Inter was abandoned early this month. Some scary scenes involving Eduardo Bove, but as already said, he's now out of hospital and very much on the mend, and all's well that ends well. It was a terrible scare for everybody involved. Shouldn't have missed Bove out on pitch, his dynamism, middle of the park. Thuram. Should end this way, certainly would be the MVP. Thuram through the middle, Cope Miners. Conceição. Look to take on Parisi once again. Conceição. Ranieri. Again, good defending from him.
Yeah, but Thuram is having a fantastic match. His presence, look here. Great skill. Not sure, but Thomas, it reminds me something about another French midfielder with that physical and technical attributes. Here is Sanghiro.
Cope Miners. Cambiaso. Chat more about Thuram shortly. Cope Miners. And now Kalulu sliding in. Can he get his first for the club tonight? Could have a card here. We are going to have a card. It goes towards Pierre Kalulu. I think maybe a lot of people perhaps thought that Marcus Thuram was being a bit over the top and too complimentary when he was saying that his younger brother can be even better than him and even better than his father and have achieved more, but we're seeing certainly lots of potential and why people are speaking so highly of him.
Yeah, I don't know if they are better of their dad both, because their dad was a legend, an extraordinary modern foot defender, because he was physical, he was quick, he was powerful, technically valid, he won everything, World Cup as well, outstanding defender those years with the Juventus, with the Parma.
Barcelona as well, where he finally got his hands on the Champions League. Lilian Thuram, and that's the objective for the Juventus eventually, as Kean tries to make life difficult for Gatti. Juventus have just been, almost a cursed competition for them, the Champions League. These two finals under Allegri, the consecutive finals under Lippi, but only winning that one in 96, losing 97, 98, and 2003. We mentioned that final that Thuram was on the Bianconeri side, but first of all, Juventus can start winning on the domestic front. And can they be a challenger, Manuel? Alex Del Piero certainly thinks so.
I'm not sure at the moment, because with these 3 points they will reach a 34-7 behind Atalanta, Napoli and Inter. They will wait to play Fiorentina. There are so many games to be played. At the moment, I think the team that you have to beat is Inter. We're gonna see if we can consider matter of 3 with Napoli and Atalanta.
Next is the Supercoppa Italiana for Juventus. From Milan in the semi-final, to Atalanta in the other. So face Milan Atalanta in the league as well in January. Moise Kean just to get beyond Gatti. Lulu can only find Sotil. Still with Sotil and overhit that one. And it's gone straight out again. Despite we're talking about a bit of a lack of quality in the final third this evening from Fiorentina. Manuel saw it in the first part of the first, we're seeing it a bit now in the second.
Yeah, because here Sotil did everything well, but the last very touchy, too heavy. Because there was a promising action for Fiorentina, 1 against 1, the last third against Savona.
There will be a chance then for Tagamota to get his hands on silverware, first trophy as Juventus coach, but have to get the better of Gasperini, Simone Inzaghi, and of course Paolo Fonseca. Now Locatelli, still with Locatelli. Now Conceição, blocked by Adli, and Parisi also there making it difficult. Might get a second bite of the cherry here. Conceição, Sotil must do better on this occasion. Di Gregorio quick off his line.
Yeah, but I think that ball has to be played towards the corner kick flag rather than centrally.
There's Beltran, Dragora, Colpani, he loves starting out on that position out wide and checking in field. Dodon, Dragora, Adli, and with the Frenchman. Adli, Beltran, this is Kean. Couldn't get the shot away, couldn't bring a teammate into play. Now Juventus, can they race upfield? Vlahovic, pace to burn. Comuzzo first to it.
Yeah, now Juventus is defending quite deep. Fiorentina obviously are trying everything to find the equalizer. Needing something more from Moise Kean and Beltran. We didn't see much from the Spanish.
Fiorentina haven't actually conceded a single goal in the final 30 minutes of play this season. Only 5 in the second half. Thuram becoming the 5th person to score. Now Yildiz, running with Locatelli, Mike Fulcan here for Yildiz. Asking questions, causing problems. It's Kenan Yildiz.
Yeah, first time we've seen Yildiz in action here, finding enough room to shot from that distance. Comuzzo did well. Beltran is no Spanish, he's Argentinian obviously. And De Gea was ready to save it.
Hernandez gets Standing ovation on that far side. So can Juventus become the first team to score against Fiorentina in the final 30 minutes of play? Just going after that third goal. Koeman towards Gatti! And once more, David De Gea pulling out all the stops. He's having a blinder, even though Fiorentina are trailing.
Yeah, we said it. He was the target. Decent ball in. And Gatti, free header. A wonderful save by De Gea. You see, Comuzzo lost the big centre half. That was the chance that Juventus was waiting for. And now a couple of changes for Palladino.
Gosens amongst them. Back in Serie A after his time in Germany, his native Germany. Colpani coming off, the jury still will be out. Giacomo treble change. Colpani, Parisi and Adli all coming off. They set up what was then the equalizer. Gosens, Iconet and Richardson coming on. To score in Serie A for Fiorentina, but has scored on the European front. So treble change, let's roll the dice from Palladino. 2 very positive years with the Bianconeri, 10 goals all in Serie A. Playing their part in their return, a swift return to the top flight after their relegation. Now this is Richardson. Dodon. Bianco Miners. Still Dodon. Fails to really trouble Di Gregorio.
Yeah, not enough power on this shot to trouble Di Gregorio. Not enough room to find the power that this shot would need. There with Icone, obviously. Instead of Colpani, Fiorentina's got a more direct, proper winger, right winger, left-footed.
Brace then the difference between the two teams, putting Juventus on course to extend their positive record at home against Fiorentina. So we're going to be, or could well be, 13 from 14 now at home, all wins. So with that deft little touch, trying to bring Locatelli into play. Locatelli's winning back another one who's had a fantastic match in the middle of the park. Now Kenan Yildiz towards Vlahovic. Beltran wins the foul.
Yeah, Locatelli is having a wonderful match, and now he got booked probably for descent by a wonderful season. He's doing so good there, that position. You can see here falling Beltran then. He's been surrounded by Juventus players, and he got the yellow card.
It's a costly booking as well. That will mean a suspension for him. It was diffidato, as Italians say, one booking away from a ban. Fagioli the other one in the Juventus ranks, but he continues to sit on the bench. Remains to be seen whether we'll see him in action. Gosens, Richardson, back with Gosens. Now Sotil to take Gatti away and open up some space. Sotil's touch looked like it was too heavy. Juventus will start again with a goal kick.
Yeah, solid performance so far from Gatti, putting Sotil under pressure. The secret for a big defender like him, when he goes against a quick play like Sotil, don't let them turn and drive at you. And Gatti knows it.
An early second half goal, really knocking the wind out of Fiorentina's sails. They went into the break on level terms. Really, as dangerous in the second half as they were in the first, but there is still time unless Juve can kill off the contest. Thuram towards Vlahovic. Vlahovic just got his shot completely wrong. It was an awkward angle, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I think Ranieri is complaining about Vlahovic's position, but I think Gosens is playing the big number 9 on the side. And the linesman is right. That's the referee telling Ranieri to calm down. Was clearly onside. Gosen was playing him on.
Moise Kean back from an offside position there. And he's cramping up as well here now. Have to just grit his teeth because Fiorentina have made all their substitutions tonight.
Yeah, that was promising because if Moise Kean was able to receive the ball, he played immediately to Ikone. That was unmarked because Cambiaso was going to help Kalulu. Now we're going to see if Moise Kean will be able to stay on the park for the last 10 minutes.
Well, to leave his team a man light to try and dig deep. Gatti towards Conceição. Just took his eye off the ball. Yildiz. Conceição. He's looking for Vlahovic. Handball from Dusan Vlahovic there. The referee was well placed.
And I think Vlahovic for a second thought about to control the ball with his thigh and maybe go for the spectacular overhead kick. But Dodo did well, stayed tight. The big number 9.
Camuzzo. Simple for Kenan Yildiz. Locatelli is screaming for it. It's given away by Yildiz. It's a rare mistake. Ranieri can come forward. Locatelli was free. Sotil now. Still Sotil rolled across. Real heart in mouth moment that for Juventus. Cope Miners. Those two, Locatelli will miss the Turin derby at the start of the year. The booking doesn't carry over to the Super Cup, although it used to a few years ago. The rules have since changed.
Yeah, brilliant ball played in for Sotil, and then Kalulu did so well because he was 1-against-1 with Moise Kean in the middle of the box. And he went, read the danger, and picked the right position.
Now it's one former Fiorentina man for another. Vlahovic's weight goes on to find that elusive goal against the Viola. 5th time of asking that he's failed to find the back of the net against the Tuscans. Let's see if Nico Gonzalez can mark his first match against his old club with a goal. Opened his league account last time out at Monza. Scored a stunner here in the Coppa Italia goal, reminiscent of Francesco Totti's goal against Inter. Reminiscent because nothing can quite match the goal from Francesco Totti in the backyard of Inter as well at the San Siro, but still a wonderful goal. He has a score scored in the Champions League as well, back in match day 1 against PSV.
Yep. Nico Gonzalez, who played like a kind of number 9 position a couple of times where Vlahovic was struggling physically.
A chance from a dead ball situation now for Fiorentina. Dodo towards Richardson, brought down. This is Beltran. It's a shot away, but it's a tame one. Locatelli. He slices that. Cope Miners also scored a stunner in the cup against Cagliari. Now Yildiz for Nico Gonzalez. This is Nico Gonzalez into the side netting. Wanted to hurt his old club, Nico Gonzalez, and seal the win.
Yeah, could have been amazing with his first real touch of the game if he would have found the net. Tried to surprise De Gea to the near post. Went wide.
Here's Dodo. Ikone goes down by Kalulu. Now he's also doubling up. The decision goes the way of the home side. To the disappointment of Ikone and the Fiorentina supporters packed in there, just behind the Juventus goal. wait for a win in Turin. Looks like it's going to go on. Stretched to now 5 years since that night in December 2020. Cáceres and an own goal from Alessandro. It was Cesare Prandelli's Fiorentina, the unhappy second spell for Prandelli in the Fiorentina dugout, able to replicate what he achieved in his first, which got him that Italy job. Vlahovic watching on. Talk of contract renewal for him. Talks are said to stalled at the moment, but could well resume in February and March, according to the latest press reports in Italy. Locatelli. Ranieri. Thuram, who else but him making the block? Now Cope Miners. Nico Gonzalez. Looks inside, and this is going to be a yellow card for Camuzzo.
Yeah, again, Thuram winning the second ball, winning the challenge in the middle of the park. In transition, Juventus winning a decent fall. 5 minutes to go. That's what you need to breathe a bit. Keep the ball away from your goal. Now maybe having the chance to score the third one from a free kick in a decent position.
Cope Miners to take. Looked in by Cope Miners. Nico Gonzalez jumped up, and we know in the air he is a threat, Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, he is. Scored so many goals with the Viola jersey, with his header. He's not the tallest, but he's so good in the air.
38 goals between 2021 and 2024. No one was as prolific as him in that 3-year period for Fiorentina. There's a slip there from Cambiaso. Icone. Mandragora. Richardson has momentum gone. Beltran. Icone lets it run. Moise Kean. And now Sotil rifles it home. And Fiorentina are level with just minutes to go. All came from that slip by Cambiaso. A cruel twist of fate. And Fiorentina capitalised. Boy, did they capitalise.
Thomas, how many times we said it? Juventus are not able to defend like that deep in their own box. They're gonna concede soon or later. They've done it again. You mentioned massive mistake by Cambiaso. The ball went inside the box. Ken did so well to keep it live, and then Sotil rushed it into the top corner. No chance for Di Gregorio. Here, Mandragora played in for Richardson, found Beltran, decent ball in. Check it down by Icone. Then Moise Kean attracting 3 Juventus players, and then wonderful full volley by Sotil in the top corner. And this is an astonishing second goal for Fiorentina.
Cambiaso's been almost infallible this season, almost perfect wherever he's been played. And it's a mistake from the player you wouldn't expect. It's allowed Fiorentina to draw level, and there's still time for another goal. And Sotil, his first league goal of the season, comes away at Juventus. Now Fagioli coming off the bench. Gatti off, so a defender off, a midfielder on. Thuram coming off. Douglas Luiz coming on. Just sums up Juve's season. Just when you think they might have just turned the corner, on the brink of a win or beginning a winning run. Can they dig deep? Can they go ahead again? Or will Fiorentina get a third? Ken, who's struggling now.
Yeah, because now,
now,
Thomas, yeah, you're trying to win the game, but There are 2 minutes plus injury time, and Locatelli is going to face Moise Kean. That's a big risk from Thiago Motta.
Gosens. Conceição. Beltran coming back.
And then you sub to even your best player to Ram for Douglas Luiz.
Douglas Luiz has had an injury hit spell so far. Italian press already writing him off. Thiago Motta coming to his defence in the press conference yesterday, saying he has a lot of belief in Douglas Luiz, that he can be the player we saw at Aston Villa. Can he start doing that from tonight? Into the final minute. This will feel very much like a win for Fiorentina. Very much on the back foot in this second period now. Douglas Luiz for Conceição. Still Conceição, away by De Gea. And now Cambiaso, can he make amends? Once again De Gea. Another one, another candidate for MVP. It's not over though for Fiorentina. More danger perhaps incoming. Kalulu. Fagioli. Savona. Has it gone out? It has gone out.
Yeah, you got the feeling that maybe another goal is there. You don't know who for, but look here, Gosens. Too wide, and Conceição read it so well. Good ball in. And here you need another good save by De Gea. Again, Ranieri, too far from him.
We spoke about this being an intense rivalry, a Calcio classic. The chapter has been added tonight. Cambiaso slip will be fondly remembered by the Fiorentina supporters. So much for Juventus. Can't quite believe he's been booked here, but he has been given a yellow. Maurizio Mariani.
I think Thomas is not happy with the 4 minutes they've been given.
Shows that Palladino will be very happy to come away from Turin with a point. He's won here before with Monza, so won at home against Juventus in his first season, his first game in charge of Monza a couple of seasons ago. Gicchia with Venezia getting the only goal of the game. Now Yildiz, Cope Miners. Yildiz wins the foul, so there still could be a chance here. Fiorentina players protesting. All through the years they have felt, of course this is the accusation coming from Florence, that Juventus have been slightly favoured when it comes to the refereeing decisions, most notably in the final day of the 82 season.
This is clearly a fall on Moise Kean from Locatelli. That's why probably Palladino was furious. And then Yildiz won cleverly a fall that can lead Juventus to maybe score the winner, we don't know.
Taken quickly, but the referee wasn't ready. Back in 82 it was Argentina having a goal they felt should have stood ruled out against Cagliari. They drew that game and Juve beat Catanzaro thanks to a Brady penalty and won the match. Cope Miners floated in, Nico Gonzalez jumping up and the whistle going.
I think he's offside. Nico Gonzalez started in an offside position and fouled Comusso probably.
Both teams, both Fiorentina and Juventus, close out the year locked on 32 points. Fiorentina, a reminder, with a game in hand. No time to lose for Juventus. It's their time for one last attack. Savona. Referee looking at his watch, that could well be it. Palladino cutting a very tense figure. Needs this result after back-to-back losses. Kefren Turam, bittersweet memories for him of this fixture now. A brace, but not the win. There goes the full-time whistle. Pulsating contest, end-to-end stuff. Ricardo Sotil consigning Juventus to their 11th draw of the season. Moise Kean scoring on his return to his former employers. Kefren Turam netted twice. He thought he was going to be the match winner tonight, the MVP. But in the end, Sotil coming up with a late equalizer. And Fiorentina emerging unscathed from the Allianz Stadium and returning to positive ways and restoring positive results after back-to-back defeats. A draw for Fiorentina, which will feel very much like a win for Juventus. It's more drop points. Final score here, Juventus 2, Fiorentina 2.
Grazie a tutti voi per essere stati con noi questa sera. Eccolo lì il next match, prontamente la grafica sui nostri schemi ci racconta che il 18 di gennaio con fischio di inizio alle ore 18 ospiteremo in Milano. Grazie ai tifosi bianconeri, l'augurio per uno spumeggiante 2025. Buon rientro a casa e fino alla fine, forza Juventus!
Pronto?
Gerardo, qui con mio nonno. E mi ha detto praticamente che abbiamo giocato un mondiale in casa e non abbiamo neanche mai vinto. Proviamo mai? Oggi non fa.
Lur, ma cosa vuoi? Fare la Coppa del Mondo in Italia e vincerla?